students, welcome back to the Intermediate 1 Week 4 in Smart Online. Well, my name is Diego, and today I'm going to be here with you explaining the topics for the Week 4. So, my dear students, it's important that you get connected to the lessons to practice, okay? Well, let's start. What are we going to do today? Today, we are going to talk about these goals. So we're going to identify and describe social problems and environmental concerns, coming up with solutions. So basically what we are going to do today is like describe a problem, right, from an environmental problem, and then propose a solution. That's what we are going to do today, okay? And we are going to do it using the passive voice, okay? So you need to be experts in passive voice for this lesson. But if you are not, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Let's start. So we're going to start with this warming up, okay? Lot of attention to the video, and you will let me know, what you see. What problems are they talking about, okay? Well, let's check. Lot of attention to the video. I want you to pay attention about
Sarah,
it, all right?
an expert in youth crime, which were the most common crimes connected with social problems.
One growing and difficult area is bullying. This is the activity of attempting to hurt, persecute, or intimidate another possibly weaker person. It can happen at school, or in the workplace, or anywhere. Another serious problem has to do with the taking of drugs, and in particular, drug dealing. A drug dealer is any person who sells illegal drugs. A crime that is sometimes taken lightly is fare dodging. This is riding on public transport without buying a ticket. If you are caught, you don't get arrested, but you might have to pay a fine. Public transport is a typical place where pickpockets act. These are people who steal from the pockets or handbags of others in public places. A new crime area has to do with computers. A hacker is a computer user who illegally gains access to restricted computer systems. A potentially dangerous crime is joyriding. This is driving a vehicle for fun in a dangerous manner without the owner's permission. It often ends in an accident. Another crime which has taken on a new meaning is piracy. This used to be a crime committed at sea, but now it refers to the unauthorized use or appropriation of patented or copyrighted material like music or films. Taking things without paying for them in shops is another form of stealing called shoplifting. Another very common crime is speeding. Lots of drivers think driving above the speed limit will get them where they want to be quicker, but it often just gets them a fine or into an accident. The last crime we will look at is vandalism. This is the term used when someone destroys or damages public or private property.
Well, guys, so let's check. We are going to check out the previous,
I asked Sarah, an expert in youth crime,
and social problems, right? Well, the first problem, what's the first one? Here we have first one, bullying. And how can we express this problem, this social problem, with passive voice? For instance, bullying is being effective emotions of our teenagers, right? Or emotions of our teenagers have been affected by bullying, right? Okay, here we have the other one. Okay, and it's what? Drug dealer. Right? The drug dealer, for example, youth future is being stolen through the drug dealing. Okay, this is something that we can use also using the passive voice. Okay, well, now other alternative. Here we go. The fare dodging. What's that basically? Is a person who doesn't pay the tickets. For instance, in Colombia, we have a Transmilenio some people in Transmilenio who don't pay. So we can say, for instance, as a problem, think about how can you do it, how can you express this problem, fare dodging, in passive voice. For example, fare dodging has been affected the public transportation economy. Okay, well, that's what we are going to do with the other problems. Okay, that here we have, for example, this one, pickpocket. Pickpocket is what we know in Spanish as cosquilleo, right? And we have another one here that is like hacking. Yes, for example, I don't know, like for example, people economy is being in danger due to the hackers, right? For instance, is one of the options in which we can express that. Okay, well, on the other hand, we have, for example, the problem with joyriding. What is that? It's basically when we drive, right, irresponsibly, maybe under the consumption of drugs. Okay, for example, our life is put in risk due to the what, guys? To the joyriding. Okay, well, this is just a way, just like a little sample about how can we use the passive voice to describe problems. But basically today we are more interested in something, how to describe these problems, how to describe environmental problems in the way where we did it with these other ones. For example, environmental problems. So I want you now that you think about an environmental problem. Think about one environmental problem that you see in your city, right? Think about one. I'm going to think about one. For example, I think air pollution. That's the problem I'm going to think about. So keep in mind that. What's my environmental problem that I'm going to take into account? However, I'm going to show you here, guys, well, some environmental problems. Okay, well, here we have some of them. Oh, I have a mistake here. Okay, I will fix it, I promise. And we have here some environmental problems. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Stop the video, pause the video, and think about what would be the vocabulary that is intended to these problems. Okay, so pause the video and check it out. Okay, now that you have already thought about it, let's check the vocabulary. So these are the troubles we have here: global warming, soil erosion. Okay, look at the soil. All right, oil spill. It's a really big problem. Deforestation, pumping chemicals, and carbon dioxide emissions. And this is the one that I was thinking about with air pollution, right? Okay, now the thing is now, how can I describe this problem? How can I do it? Well, actually we can do it using the passive voice. Let me show you. Well, for example, our water supply is being contaminated by toxic chemicals. So pay attention here. We are using the passive voice in present continuous. We need the verb to be, in this case because it's continuous, is being, and the participle. Or for instance, our city streets are being damaged as a result of heavy traffic. Or the roads aren't being repaired due to a lack of funding. Now I'm going to think about, for instance, my example with air pollution. I can say that our air is being polluted by the heavy traffic, for example. Or I can say that our air is being polluted as a result of industry, for instance, factories. Okay, well, normally we use by in the passive voice, but here we have other options: as a result of, due to, because of, and through. All of them are amazing to be used in the passive voice. Okay, now, a lot of attention here. We have something else. The present perfect in the passive voice also can be used to describe the problems, all right? For instance, our community center has been closed because of high cost, or many public parks has been lost through overbuilding. Now, if you think about this, we can also use the problem that we already thought. For instance, let's think about my example. Our air has been polluted through the heavy traffic or because of the factories or industry. Okay? Well, difficult? I don't think that. I think it's pretty simple. But we have to keep some attention to some of these details. Okay? All right? Well, let's go ahead. So let's go ahead with this. Now, here we have some examples, some exercises. Okay? I want you to pay attention to this part. Okay? So a lot of attention, because here we're going to start using it. For example, high emissions of carbon dioxide are causing climate changes. Ooh, so what can we do? For example, climate changes, right, are being caused by high emissions of carbon dioxide. Now, look at this, through. And we have here again the present continuous. For example, natural resources are being depleted because of rapid urbanization, for example. Okay? Or well, for instance, people all over the world water pollution has threatened the health of people all over the world. Okay, we can say the health of people all over the world has been threatened due to the water pollution. Now look at this, because of. So we have here the soil and the underground water have been contaminated because of livestock farms. You got it right. Okay, well, for example here, wildlife. The extinction of plants and wildlife is being accelerated as a result of the destruction of rainforest. Okay, as you can see, it's not difficult. It's extremely simple. Now, let's continue. For example, here. Okay, for example, birds, fish, and other marine life are being harmed through oil spills. Okay? Well, guys, what do you think? Simple or difficult? I think it's extremely simple, right? But remember, try to pay attention to the details, okay? Well, let's go ahead. Now, if we already talk about problems, we can talk about solutions. I'm going to teach you how to propose solutions to those environmental problems. Okay? Well, for example, the expressions one way to change, another way to stop, the best way to fight, and actually you can use what you want. For example, one way to produce, one way to create, one way to motivate, okay? What you want, all right? But we're going to use it with these examples. For example, one way to change this is to talk to the company's management. Or for example, one way to stop them is to get a news station to run story. Or for example, the best ways to fight unemployment are to create more jobs and invest in education. Okay, guys, as you can see, this is more than, how can I say it? It's more than it's more than this, right? So you can use more expressions. Okay, for example, one way to motivate people is to create new campaigns. All right, well, but how are we going to do it? So take a pic of this, and then we're going to propose our own solutions to the problems that we already talked about. Okay, well, for example, to the problems that we already talked. Think about one solution for global warming. I'm going to give mine. One way to reduce global warming is to educate people, I think. Now, let's think about one. Soil erosion. For instance, let me think. Okay, for example, one way to stop soil erosion is to invest more in clean fuels, right? Or to clean energy things. For example, electrical cars. I don't know, I'm inventing, right? Okay. One way to reduce oil spills is to start using other, I don't know, like alternative energies, right? Deforestation. Okay, one way to change or to stop or reduce deforestation is to reuse materials, right? Let's think about, for example, pumping chemicals, right? For instance, one way to stop this problem is to punish companies who do it, right? Carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, one way to reduce carbon dioxide emissions is to stop using the car and start using bicycles, for example. All right? Okay, I know that you have other ideas, so please start thinking about those ideas, okay? Think about those ideas, all right? Well, let's think about. Now we are going to do a short listening. What is the idea about this listening? It's to, improve, obviously, our listening skills, but also something that I want you to do with this is to start thinking about more, like problems, all right? And improve your listening skills related to problems and solutions. So what are we going to do? The idea is to listen to Morgan, Dalton, and Kendall. They are talking about one problem and what can be done about it. Unfortunately, I won't tell you the answers. This is something that you are going to do at home. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
Page 46. Exercise 5. Listening. Saving the environment. Part A. Listen to 3 people describe some serious environmental problem. Check the problem each person talks about. 1. Morgan.
Wait, don't throw that out.
Why not?
Recycle it. I've been reading a lot about how much trash we produce and what happens to all of it, and it really has me worried.
Why?
Well, it seems that the easiest way to dispose of trash is by burying it in landfills, land that could be used by farmers to grow food and other things. The problem is that in many countries, the dumping areas have already been filled up, and it's hard to find places to start new ones. Of course, no one wants trash buried in their neighborhood, but it has to go somewhere.
So what's the solution?
Well, there is no easy solution. However, many cities are trying to do more recycling so that they can reduce the amount of stuff that goes into the landfills.
2. Dalton.
I love my new computer, but I don't know what to do with my old one. It's so outdated. I know I shouldn't just throw it away.
Well, you're right about that. Not disposing of electronic devices and other appliances properly is a huge problem these days. Not just here, but all over the world. Many people don't know what to do with their old phones, computers, video game systems, TV sets, refrigerators. There are dangerous chemicals in these products, and they have to be handled in the right way.
So, what are we supposed to do?
Well, e-waste is not going away. With all the new technology these days, there's more e-waste than ever before. The solution is to dispose of it responsibly. The good news is that there are more and more e-waste processing centers where professionals take these products and separate them into their various parts. Many of the parts can be reused, of course.
3. Kendall.
You know, you always hear about air pollution, but not many people are aware of the problem of water pollution.
You mean in the oceans?
No, I mean polluted drinking water. It's a problem in almost every major city in the world. Almost all our rivers and lakes, where we get our drinking water, are being polluted in some way by businesses, farms, homes, industries, and other sources. And even though the water most of us drink is treated, it's still not 100% pure.
So what's the solution?
Well, it's a complicated problem to solve, but basically what's involved is treating all waste products more carefully so that dangerous chemicals and bacteria don't get into our water supply.
Okay, well, so my dear students, this was the listening part, okay? So that's your task to complete it. Try to complete it and write in the comments below what are the answers, okay? Well, guys, good job. So now it's time to practice, okay? It's time to practice. So what are we going to do for the practice time? We are going to practice the passive voice in present continuous, okay? And present perfect, okay? All right? Well, so be attentive, because what we are going to do is try to do it the best as we can, all right? Well, I'm going to give you 8 questions, and you are going to help me out to discover them, how to use them in the passive voice, all right? Okay, guys? Well, a lot of attention. So we're going to do what? Imagine this. We have 2 teams here, but let's do it. Let's start with number 1. Farmer Joe is milking the cows. Tick tock, tick tock. Think about it. And try to guess. Okay? All right, let's check. The cows are being milked by the Farmer Joe in present continuous. So we have the verb to be, the ing, present perfect, and who does the action. Okay? Well, number 2. Most people have tried sushi, present perfect. So think about it. Stop it. The answer is sushi has been tried by most people. Remember that we can also change the by something else, all right? Okay, good. 3. Have they accepted an invitation? A question. So as all the questions, we have to start with an auxiliary, all right? Here we go. Okay. Has the invitation been accepted by them? Excellent. Okay, let's go with the next one. She has painted her flowers again, present perfect. So what is the object? Her flowers. Okay, let's see. Her flower pots have been painted by her. Remember, try to change this by some of the other options. Good job. Okay, let's go with this one. I have finished the job. Stop it. Okay, what's the answer? Okay, the job has been finished by me. Okay, that's great. Okay, let's go with this one. We are not playing football. So, present continuous, right? Let's go ahead. Football is not being played by us. Okay, that's great. Let's go with this one. My father is watching the car. The car is being watched by my father, sorry. Okay, that's great. Okay, here we go with this one. 8. I have watched that movie. So that movie has been watched? Yes, that movie has been watched. Okay, let's check. Ta-da! Okay, you did it perfect. Well, guys, great job. You did a real good job. Okay, now this is something that I want you to do at home. So try to do this. Try to start thinking about solutions for these problems, like unemployment. Famine is when you have a lot of hungry. Global warming, government corruption, infectious diseases, political unrest, poverty, recession, and violence. This is your practice at home. Try to find out what solutions can you apply for those problems. Okay, guys, good job. Keep practicing, program your lessons, please, and keep working on them. Okay, and see you the next time. Bye. Goodbye, guys.